Yo boys, welcome to the completion video for Auditory Breaker. There will be coming another Auditory Breaker video out for the stream highlights, just like we did with Molten Mercury later on. I chose this level for the Road to Aquatic Auroras because it was wave based, and because I'd already had previous progress on it. I got 50% like way back when I was doing Catalyze and shit like that. So it would just be a smooth transition to just go into this and not have to learn an entire level, just could quickly brush up on the level again and get back into it fast. So getting into the gameplay review, I want to start with the pre-drop. For this pre-drop, it is very annoying to sit through every single time. The ball lens part sucks, the vision inhibitor thing, that's really bad at first, but it eventually does get very consistent, so I don't even dislike that part that much. It's just the length of the pre-drop and how boring it is, just, oh, it makes it so bad. Of course, the fourth click, the yellow orb that I'm showing on screen right now is also quite annoying. It's just not good to have a click like that at the start of the level, it just ends up molding you. The ship is fine, it's honestly consistent, but it's just very boring. It's just the same kind of gameplay repeated 4 times in a row. For the first wave, it's quite spam heavy. It's way more spam based than the other 2 waves, and was therefore also the hardest for me. But I'll get more into that later on when we get into my experience. But the first wave is definitely the hardest one for sure. The second wave I actually really like as my favorite part of the level, and I don't mind it at all. It's fun to play. It was always fun my entire way through. The last wave is very chokeable. I think this is the only wave that they didn't nerf, apparently, from what I've heard from Sonic Wave. So of course this was very chokeable, and that also did end up becoming my choke spot, as I would later go on to die there a lot, which I'll get into as well. It's quite interesting in this level how at multiple spots there's different ways you can do it. You can do these tiny taps that make the gameplay more consistent, but at the same time it's harder to pull off that strategy of playing like that. So it's kind of a trade-off. Do you want to go for the harder route that's more consistent if you actually get it, or do you want to go for the easier route that's just more inconsistent, so you end up choking more? For the difficulty of this level, I think it is almost perfectly placed on the list from what I've played around it. I think it is definitely harder than Carcano and easier than stuff like Catalyze and Safkill. So my experience with this level, I had already learned the level of course from my previous experience back in the day, so I could quickly get back into it, learn it again. That wasn't really a problem. The thing that was a problem though was that the level didn't fit my skill set at all. There was a lot of spam in the level, especially in the first wave, as I just touched upon as well, which I really had to get used to across my time of playing this, because at first I was actually struggling a lot with just keeping straight in these spams. Regardless though, I quickly got to the last wave on like my 5th day of playing or some shit. Like it wasn't really feeling too tedious at the time. I'd very quickly picked it up and gotten some good runs. Unfortunately though, I ended up getting to that last wave about 12 times if you do count dying a couple times at the small break cube before it. So yeah, I definitely got unlucky with this level more than most people will get on this. So instead of it taking me 5 days, it ended up taking something like 2 weeks maybe, I'm not sure. So during the time playing it, I of course improved my control spam by a lot, so by the end of it, it was actually very consistent, those parts, and I was getting to like more than 50% quite often, and that just ended up snowballing into me getting a lot of good runs, and of course the chokes at the ending, but I did end up beating it, so let's just watch the completion. Fucking beat it finally, man. Fuck this level. I hate this fucking. Let's go. And get so fucked. This level can go to fucking hell, dude. I hate this level. My god.